like a dork. I feel like a dork today. Hair's getting long. I mean, it's always been long, but it looks like it's like a weird long. Hi, hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Mav, where we do everything outdoors. Today, I'm driving in the truck and scoping out some lakes, scoping out some spots to do some fishing at and do some mushroom hunting at. I realized I've been getting a lot of questions lately in regards to my truck camper setup, and people actually have been messaging me on Instagram and letting me know that that they're starting their truck camping adventures. So that's awesome, it's great news, but I've also been getting an overwhelming amount of questions in regards to the truck. I can't keep up, so I thought that I'd make a video kind of addressing my main points that I have on truck camping, why I did the things that I did, and also what to look for if you're just starting out, and how to get into it. Without further ado, we're just gonna go in the back here. All right, everybody, so this is the truck that I picked out about a year ago. It's a 2011 F-150 with a 5.0 V8 engine. A couple upgrades that I've done is I've added some big 35-inch tires. These are actually Raptor takeoffs, so they have 18-inch rims, 35-inch BF Goodrich KO2s. I've got Raptor side steps. This is my portable shower that holds 10 gallons of water. This is a conduit kit on a 10-inch PVC tube, or a fishing rod holder. I've got roof racks on my topper and on the cab of my truck, and then a giant Thule roof basket. These are Max Tracks, rip-off Max Tracks. They're just traction recovery boards. You put those underneath your tires if you get stuck. Then I have a full-size shovel up there, and then ratchets galore. You can never have enough ratchet straps when you're on the road. So I guess it leads us into the first point. Think about the roof over your head. So for me, I chose a truck. You can do this out of a car, out of an SUV, out of a pickup truck like I did. This is a 6.5 foot bed. That's what I would recommend. I'd recommend a 6.5 foot bed. You can do it with a 5.5 foot, but you're just gonna have to sleep diagonally. Coming along to the back side here, this is my Lear topper. I just picked up a topper off of Craigslist. It was pretty cheap. I think it was around 800 bucks. It came carpeted, doesn't have any leaks. Pretty nice on the inside here. It's got the carpet lining on it, and it's also got screens and windows that you can twist out. So that's super nice. So there's a bunch of different kinds of toppers. This is like a flush height one, which means that with the cab of the truck, it sits flush. Now, this is nice for looks and for being able to have super long stuff on top of my roof. You can see I have a lot of straight things across on my roof there. But it's not so nice for headspace. As you can tell, on my truck build, I decided to do 2 giant drawers for the most space. Now, I have a lot of storage, but I don't have a lot of headroom, so I actually can't sit up in my camper setup, which is kind of annoying. Not the end of the world, but it's not really annoying. I use my truck mostly for sleeping, so you just gotta decide what you're gonna use your camper setup mostly for. If you're gonna try to be reading and doing activities on the inside and you want a living space, either get a higher camper shell or don't build the same kind of platform that I have. There's a lot of different options that you can go with. You can have a space that's more like a bed, so you can have your legs hanging over the side and all sorts of different stuff. But that's just things to consider when looking at stuff to go over your head. Now, if you have a truck, that's something you got to worry about. If you have an SUV, you don't have to worry about so much. It's super nice to have an SUV because you actually have access to your driving section, and you don't have to go through, you don't have to get out of the back, come around, and get to the car. You can actually just walk or crawl, I guess, in this sense, and get up to your driver's seat. I have actually been considering getting rid of these 2 windows that separate these two and just making it a pass-through so I can grab things in the back seat, but that's just a whole nother can of soup that I don't want to open right now. All right, so the next thing you're going to want to consider when truck camping is what you're going to sleep on. So you can either have a sleeping pad like this or sleep on a mattress. If you're looking to get in this for the cheap, looking to just do something for the weekend with your buddies, this is a great option. This is a self-inflating sleeping pad. Does the job, and it's also multi-purpose, so I can use this when I go camping. and don't have to lug around a giant mattress. You can also get a mattress. This is important to note that this is not just a normal mattress. It's only 4 inches thick and it's all foam. Most mattresses will be about 6 to 8 inches thick, which means that you're gonna have even less space for your head. This is actually a really good option if you're just getting into it. This combined with a cot is probably the best combo you can do without doing a build. My first like 4 months were actually on a cot. I'd put a cot here, and then I'd use a sleeping pad like this and keep a bunch of Rubbermaid bins underneath it. But if you are spending a lot of time doing it, it does make sense to, you know, build things out to make your life on the road easier. Which in sense is going to get us to our next topic, batteries. All right, so if you guys are gonna be on the road for a long period of time, you're gonna need to charge some electronics. Yeah, if you're going for a weekend thing, you might be good with something like this. This is just a regular portable battery pack. You can get them in various sizes, but you might have one of these laying around. You don't really need a big investment to go truck camping. Some people might get really in their heads about, oh, I need the biggest and best thing. I need to have outlets, but really think about if you're gonna need something crazy, because a lot of the times these things will do just the job. You can charge these things up when your truck's running, when you're going on the road, and you can bring this in the back with you and just charge up your phone for the night. But this isn't gonna cut it if you have a lot of things, so something like this might be a little nicer. It's got some, it's a lithium ion pack, it's 12 volts, it's got 2 different USB ports, it's got a DC charger on it, alligator clips for lights, all sorts of bells and whistles on here. It also even has a flashlight on it. So that might be a better choice if you have a lot more things that you're trying to charge, or if you're gonna be on the road for a longer period of time. For me, I'm actually running 2 batteries back here. I have a regular 12 volt, it's a marine battery. They actually just hold charge better. It's an AGM, so it doesn't have to breathe. A lot of batteries can produce bad toxins when they're charging. So you have to spend a little bit of extra money to make sure that that doesn't have to breathe and you're not breathing in toxins in the back of your truck. It's actually a really important thing to think about when purchasing your battery. But if you guys stay with lithium, there's a lot of companies that make nice lithium battery packs. This one actually just charges off of solar, and it lasts a long time. There's no distinct time that it lasts. It depends on how much I'm using it to charge, but I can charge my laptop successfully off of it. I have 3 USB ports as well as a DC port, and that's awesome because I have a refrigerator in the back, and to be able to charge it off of this thing is great. You might be wondering what that marine battery in the back does. It also allows me to have an inverter, so that battery will charge while my car's running. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you guys that right now. I don't know if I've showed that too much on this channel. Oh, come on. All right, so coming along to the front here, this is my whole wiring setup. So essentially, I've got 250 amp fuses connected to a battery isolator solenoid, which is connected to a fuse in my fuse box, which means that this battery that's hooked up in the back is only going to be charged when my car is turned over. So the alternator will send the power all the way down here, and there's wires running underneath my car, and they come up right into here, and then that battery's right in there, and it'll charge up while the car is running. The reason that isolator's there is so the battery is isolated away from my starter battery. That means that this will never be dead from me charging that other one, which is really important because I never want to be stranded and not able to start my car because of a dead battery. There we go. All right, my next most important thing, and maybe one of the most important things in the truck, is the sleeping bag. This is a 0-degree bag. I'm starting to switch over from this to a 30-degree bag / my blankets now because it's starting to get warmer out here in the Midwest. Really depends on the environment that you're planning on camping in. It is nice to have a cold bag for backup if you're going to be living on the road or be on the road for a long period of time. You could get away with just having like some old blankets. I had my grandma's quilt that she knitted a long time ago just on top of here with just a regular bed sheet, and that worked just fine. But if you guys are going to be in some colder weather stuff, definitely look at getting a sleeping bag. Yeah, really nothing special there. Just be smart. Now we'll talk a little bit about food and cooking. So cooking's pretty important to me, as you can tell by this mobile kitchen. I went with a 2-burner Coleman stove just because I like to cook a lot of random dishes where I need 2 burners a lot. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just to connect your propane to it and you have a hot surface to cook on. But this one's a little special because it has it pressurizes the propane. So instead of like just trickling out, it actually pushes the propane out. I believe that made this thing more expensive, but this is the Hyper Flame. I don't know think Camp Chef and Coleman and all those other companies, they make very similar products. But so if you guys don't want some camp stove that's that big, you could get by with a single burner or like something like a jet boil, or one of those ones that just honestly screws on top of a propane canister. You could also cook on the fire if you want to. Having a burner that you can depend upon when you're camping like this makes your life a heck of a lot easier. If you guys are crazy about cooking like me and you don't have the amount of storage that I do, you can always make like a kit of spices and sauces and, you know, salt and pepper. And for me, I just kind of have everything laid out. One of the biggest things I learned about being on the road for the last year is that you need to think about minimizing your stuff. Where this is my guilty pleasure right here, the kitchen. With everything else, you might be able to tell that I kind of slimmed down on what I brought with, says the guy with 3 different colored multi-bowls. These are nice though. These sit all flush with each other and fit nice. I like those. Those are good. So going off of food, I have a refrigerator. You got to consider, you know, if you're going to be on the road for a long time, what you need. For me, I got a Dometic CFX 35, I believe it's called. It just means it's a 35 liter fridge / freezer. So it can actually get down to 7 degrees Fahrenheit, or -7 degrees, sorry. And that means it can freeze fish, freeze whatever I need it to. It's not running right now because it's not plugged into my battery, which is right here. Basically, what you got to do is you have to decide how much, you know, having perishable foods means to you. Do you want to just run to the grocery store and buy food, or do you need to have it on you at all times? For me, the fridge was really nice to have. I could freeze fish, put it in the freezer right after I caught them. I'd be able to go to the grocery store, stock up for the week, be able to go off grid for a little while, come back. It was great. So if you're going to be doing stuff like that, definitely consider getting a fridge. But, you know, you can definitely get by with not having one altogether. You could bring a little cooler to fill up with ice if you wanted to. So you guys might have noticed in my later videos, I would always use a heater in the back to warm up in the morning and at night, right before going to bed. But what you maybe didn't see was that I had a carbon monoxide detector in the back. As you can see, this thing's pretty, it's seen some days. This thing's actually been in there since I first started truck camping. So that thing usually is Velcroed up right there. Really important if you're gonna be running any kind of heat in the back of your truck. Also just a good thing to have. I mean, carbon monoxide's a thing in all cars, so if you're in a closed space like that might not have any ventilation, kind of scary. You might be asking yourself what the heck that stuff is on my windows that looks like space tape. So it's aluminum bubble wrap. It's called Reflectix. It's just to provide some insulation, but the main reason for it is privacy. So what I would recommend is either doing that. I'd recommend doing that actually, and building, making what are they called? Oh my gosh, the curtains. Yeah. Make privacy curtains. I haven't got around to the curtains yet. Maybe I should bug Hannah to help me out with that. But I feel like there's a tick on me right now. Hang on. I think I just have a bad case of the creepy crawlies. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that just helps out with condensation and a little bit of insulation on the glass. Glass doesn't insulate well, if you didn't know, but it helps keep it warmer in here. One thing I forgot to mention about the carpet too, if you don't have a carpet-lined headliner or carpet-lined topper, condensation is going to get really bad. So like when you're breathing in here, it's going to cause water to form on the top, and it's going to cause it to rain down on you. Also, your body temperature, it's just going to cause a lot of problems that you don't really want. So having a carpet-lined topper is pretty important. If you do want to get just a raw fiberglass topper, I would recommend insulating it and then either like putting like wood around it or putting carpet around it. It's just having that plastic or that fiberglass raw is just going to cause you some problems. I do see a lot of people using aluminum toppers too. That's great. You can actually get a lot more headroom, or a little bit more headroom. You can have access to your stuff from the side here. Really nice. But this is the topper I have right now. I actually am in the process of looking for a new one. I kind of want one that comes up, like not a high rise, but I want a mid rise, the one that comes up to like right here. So I can at least have some headroom to sit up. If you guys know anybody that's selling one that would be white, or honestly any color, and that's nice, please send me a link. Saw one in Iowa, debating whether or not to go look at it, but it's not quite the topper that I want / need. I don't know. If you guys could help me out, that'd be great. So maybe you guys can't afford having a topper on here. Maybe you just got your truck, or maybe you have a truck that you're able to use in your family, and you can't, you know, get a topper on it. It's too much money. What you can do is you can actually, they do make tents that go in the back here, but if you can't do that, you can also make your own tent. If you want to try to figure out a way to jerry rig some poles on there and put a tarp up, I've actually seen people do that. They'll make like a wood base for some tarp and then bungee cord down a tarp, and that'll work for like a weekend trip if you want to, you know, get your feet wet and try truck camping for the first time. So in hindsight, what I'd recommend is, you know, whatever car you've got, whatever you have that you can use to travel with, go ahead and use it. I mean, you don't have to buy a big fancy truck or get that new car to be able to live out of it. I know people that have gone on traveling trips out of their, you know, small Camrys, and you can do it. It's just, you have to be okay with being uncomfortable. You know, you're taking discomfort for a reason, to be able to see stuff and experience life. Wow, I'm getting really philosophical here. Of course, it does help to have all this comfort stuff. That's why I made this video, to kind of show you my version of ideal is. By no means is it done yet. It's gonna be a continued, you know, changing thing, but I don't know. People are curious, so I thought I'd make a video on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually even thinking about redoing this whole setup. I don't know if I really like just having this flat surface. I kind of like the idea of being able to put my legs down, and I kind of like the idea of having more headroom, so I don't know. I'm debating whether or not getting a mid or high-rise topper, but I really want to try to make it work. I kind of don't like spending money, so I don't know. I might just have to make this one work. Hopefully you guys found some information out of this video. If you want to, send me a message on Instagram and, you know, show me your truck camper setup, show me what you're thinking. I honestly might do a video where I review everybody's truck camper setup. So if this video inspired you and you built something, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram with a picture. Really would appreciate it. It's awesome seeing this whole community come together. I've been seeing videos and pictures of people building out trucks and people talking to me about places they've traveled to or want to travel to, and experiences that they've had. So it's been an awesome community that we've been building up. Really appreciate all the support. And yeah, thanks again for tuning in this episode of Mav. Until next time, my name is Mavrik, and you already know the drill. Just keep on trucking.